Would you like to support Cubs Out Loud? One way is to join us over on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, patrons get early access to our shows, the pre and post show, and various other rewards. You can learn more at patreon.com/Cubs Out Loud. Thanks to all our patrons for their support in making this podcast. It's Sunday, May 3rd, 2026. I'm Jeff.
Who's your bear? That's right. I am your bear.
I'm Damon.
I don't brew the tea, I just serve it.
And that makes me Gary.
Everyone else is thinking it, and I just say it.
Welcome to Cubs Out Loud, the Bear Podcast of Indeterminate Length, episode number 823. Huh. Oops. It's actually 823. Don't mind the 820 that's on the graphic here, and especially considering I must have the wrong one here, or it wasn't updated the last when I actually uploaded it, because it's actually for April, which we're doing this for. Yeah, not March, but April. That happened. Damon?
Oh, you
That's
okay.
pretty much all I had. I really don't have anything.
Oh, okay.
Just April
Wow.
happened.
A month that happened. Anyway, yeah. So, April was kind of a month. It's like I think kind of what we're dealing with is that it's just been sort of a very weird. Not a whole lot happened, but I did go. The men's course had their their seasonal retreat. We have our spring retreat. We have an in-town spring retreat where we rehearse a lot and we eat a lot and we talk a lot and we game and we do all kinds of fun stuff and we learn a lot of music and we get it all back down. And this one was a little different since it's our 35th anniversary. We're bringing back some classic songs we've sung in the past, and one of them we have choreography for. And guess who got to teach choreography? I'll put it like that to the chorus for a song we've done so many times that so many people know it, but so many people who are new to our course don't know. That was me, so I got to do that. And that was kind of fun. I really did appreciate Spencer, who's our AD, asking me to help with it. And I got a little help from some of the former members to give me, remember what we did for stuff. And that was fun. It was also retreat weekend was part of the Greater Cincinnati Restaurant Week, which we have here a couple times a year. Usually, I think there's one in the spring and one in the fall. Due to the timing of it this time around, we didn't go to a lot of restaurants. We went to one on Monday and then one on Saturday. Both were pretty good. The one on Saturday, the meal was really good, but the atmosphere was not. Keep it simple. The food was decent. It was good, but this place is trying to do everything. They're trying to be high end, but they're also just like a whiskey bar, but also we want to have like a like cabaret-y kind of loungy kind of vibe, but we also cram so many people into the space that it feels very cluttered. And then on top of that, we've got this fucking decor from anything and everything, which doesn't make sense. And it's not like Applebee's or Planet Hollywood kind of like random decor things just thrown around. It's meant to be international art artist art kind of way. It's meant to be sort of high end, but it's a lot of just random shit, to be blunt. There's a water fountain, like a water feature near the front door, which doesn't make any kind of sense at all. Anywho, um, but it was the meal was good. We went with our friends who we game with, um, and other than the fact that we were at a half booth space that was right next to the garage door that they somehow have that roll up for they have like patio seating. Um, it was okay. It was very cramped, and there were a few of us larger folk in that space, and it just did not work really well. But the food, I would say, made up for it, which was probably why maybe I'll give it another try. Um, it's the main thing for me was it was loud because there was a lot of people in the space, and it was not very like conversation friendly because of all the noise. And they also had a piano, like a piano player who was, singing and playing music. It was a lot. It was a lot, but it was good. Gary?
There was a joke somewhere in there about you and the choreo and the chorus. Anyways, it's lost. That being said, I'm intrigued by your description of the food thing. That I don't know how many times I've gone to a place where I'm like, wow, this is pretty good, meaning the food.
Mm-hmm.
But like other things don't add up.
Yeah. It was like I said, it was a weird experience. I will give, like I said, I will give them another chance. Not right now, but have you ever walked in a space and been like, what is this? That's what it was. Like, what is this trying to be? And it felt like it was trying to be everything.
Yeah. No, I get that.
It's like me and
So
Tiger
the irony
Stadium.
is that on Friday,
What was that?
Sounds like me and Tiger Stadium when my brother and I went on our Midwest tour baseball trip. Immediately walked into Tiger Stadium and I couldn't wait to leave.
Mm.
Meanwhile, every other stadium, including the one for the Reds and one for the at the time Cleveland Indians, those are good. Not so much in Tiger Stadium. Wrigley Field was awesome. I loved Wrigley Field. Anyways, moving on. Sorry.
On the irony is this isn't what I was going to talk about, but the segue is on Friday, a coworker, not in my department, but someone who's been with the county for quite a while, had a retirement party, and I got invited personally to go. We're several levels like separated, so there's no reason for me to necessarily have gotten an invite or go unless they genuinely like wanted to invite me. So I went, was at a local brew pub, saw a bunch of people, observed a bunch of stuff going on. Very busy place on a Friday evening, understandably. I have never in my lifetime had this experience. So I'm going to describe my takeaway, and then you can do with that what you like. I was standing in this business for over 2.5 hours.
Standing?
Yes. Now, that was mostly my decision. The first part of it, we were next to tables to sit, but because it was immediately after work and people were treating it like a happy hour, no one was really behaving like dinner. Eventually, some member of management had said to the person in charge of this gabbledy, group of individuals that kept coming and going and stuff. You're in the middle of the dining room and there are other tables around you trying to have a meal. And so you just standing around and talking and drinking is not working. So it's basically if all you're going to do is stand around, you need to stand at the bar and at least have drinks, or sit down and eat or whatever. Mm-hmm. So a couple of us, basically the whole party kind of sort of relocated. Overall, I would say probably a good 30-some people had come and gone. But that being the case, wow. So then I and another person relocated to a high top where we were joined by 2 other people. So it was the 4 of us. We were there for a good, half hour, 45 minutes or so, or more, and then relocated, and then one left and then another left. It was just the 2 original of us, being the other person. Then we went over to the bar. They sat for a while. I stood. Appetizers were ordered. Some people got food, all sorts of stuff. In the course of 2.5 hours, I never was approached, never asked if I would like anything, never presented with a menu, never inquired if I would like anything, if I was going to have anything at all. And was bypassed by the floor manager / shift manager, assistant manager, general manager, not sure what their title is, but it's very obvious when you're in the restaurant scene who that person is.
Mm-hmm.
At least a half dozen times. And was bypassed, physically walked past by at least 9 waitstaff and 2 bartenders and 2 barbacks. I pointed this out towards the end of the time that I was staying there with this person who had had 2 beers and was like, I don't really drink a whole lot. I'm going to get going, blah, blah, blah. And I made a comment about how I've never in my lifetime been in an establishment and basically ignored.
Oof.
And the person I was with was like, well, that might be because of me and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, have you done something to this business? And they're like, no. And I was like, okay, well, then you can't make that claim.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what I revealed. And I said, so you don't know this about me? Because we know each other via work, but they don't know my past. It's not kind of acquaintanceship that we would have this conversation. And I said, I graduated with a degree in hotel restaurant management. So my perception of this experience is very different.
Right.
So it was a wild thing to basically see a business not give a shit about a patron, not want to make money, not outright engage someone, to watch the entire staff. I mean, I made this comment out loud to this guest who had been with most of the evening and said, obviously, they pay these people great because no one here cares about making more than their paycheck. Their paycheck must be adequate, their benefits must be adequate, and they're not here for the tip money. Because if you have no interest in engaging the customer base to increase your income, to affect your take home, let alone the reputation of the business, and you as a server or a bartender or anybody in hospitality, okay, I get it. Why would you?
That was that.
So people were you shown to the table to begin with?
No, because
so nobody ever sat at the initial table.
Not exactly. So because it was immediately after work, it was a lot of oh my God, hi, nice to see you, hugs, kiss, handshake, blah blah blah, what's going on, blah blah, catching up. So it was very happy hour standing drinking behavior. What was not made clear from the beginning by the person who booked a group, the nebulous group of an unknown number of attendees. So I'm hearing this story. I was like, so they called the place and said, hey, can we bring a group of people there? How many you're bringing? I don't know. How long will you be staying? I don't know. Do you only want drinks or do you want to eat? Well, I think people are going to drink, but they'll probably also eat. So you can imagine what it's like trying to plan
Yeah.
like service for that. That
Yeah.
being said,
You don't.
we stood next to a long table that sat probably 12, 14, 16 next to another long table that was set up that at basically the same amount of people. The table that we were next to had retirement balloons on it, so obviously that's our table. There was 3 other sets of tables that were 8 tops. One of them was full, and I was like, "Oh, these people must have gotten here first and sat down, so they're ordering and getting food and stuff." And I thought they were related to the retiree. Nope, not at all. Those were complete strangers, had nothing to do with us. We were just plunked in the middle of the room next to all these other
Yeah.
people, but that was never made clear. There was no reservation sign on our table, no nothing. So eventually, after about a half an hour to 40 minutes of us just bullshitting and standing around, and some people kind of getting drinks and some people not getting drinks or whatever, the person who had made the booking said, we were told that we needed to like relocate and either get actual tables or go to the bar or whatever. But okay, fine. So 2 of us left and promptly went over and took a high top that was a 4-seat in the border area of the dining room to the space we were in, which is still next to the bar, which in my brain is this is probably a seat for people, like this is an actual table for people to get served at. But again, nobody approached us. And I mentioned this to the guest I was with when we moved to the bar because I was like, if that was a dining table, someone should have come over and been like, "Hey, not sure what happened, but like this is a dining table. Were you guys planning to have dinner? Because we're trying to floor manage and make sure everyone is taken care of."
Yeah, it's very weird, nebulous sort of situation vibe I'm getting, and it kind of becomes this. It becomes who's responsible, who would have been responsible for serving you, and it comes usually. I guess it would have fell down to like, oh, they're going to the bar to get things, so it's basically the bartender. So essentially, you are responsible. You personally are responsible for doing all the things. However, having said that, though, if it were me and there were like a random group of people, and I had some time, I'm taking some orders so I can get that like that tip. Like I'm gonna be like, oh hey, I see you were a group of 4 that you kind of just sitting at this table. Do you all want anything? I gladly take some orders for you. Blah 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 blah. But again, that's just me. But I don't know. That just feels. But I do 2.5 hours. That is a long time for
Now, mind you,
nothing to
to
happen.
my knowledge, I'm the only person that never got approached.
Oh.
Like the person that I was with most of the time had gotten a beer before I arrived. And then when they moved over to the bar and I was busy talking to somebody else in the in between, when they sat at the bar, the bartender got them another drink.
So
But then I stood next to them for almost an hour at the bar and never got approached.
And the bartender didn't go, did you want anything?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, that's just a weird. Like like I said, I think it should have fallen to the bartender to do something to serve, and that's sort of a failure on the bartender's part, and maybe even like the managers or floor managers part, because it's like hey, like you've got this group of like 30 people. I don't know how many were there.
Yeah, probably at most 18 to 20 at one time.
Yeah. You got these 20 people that are celebrating, and like, is it just going to be the bartender, or are you going to have someone else there to kind of like coordinate something? But oh well.
So the wild thing to me is I had just been there a couple weeks before with a group for it's a Bears group that does dinner. Had a nice dinner, no issues. But it's like in my brain I was like, what a different experience. But it also really troubled me in a way because I was like, this is my background. Like this is a portion of my life that I did this stuff, and I just can't wrap my brain around this dysfunction that like nobody cared. And that's really what it comes down to. Like that's the part that's I guess frying my brain the most is I'm like, not a single person ever approached and engaged.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's weird. So strange that like you like, and I've been in so many hospitality businesses in my lifetime that like I've been accosted within 2 feet of it entering to exiting. I've had to tell people, no, we're good. You can leave us alone for 20 minutes. Like, you know, I've told servers to sit at my table and they're like, oh no, I can't. And I'm like, no, I'm telling you, you can. And if your boss gets mad, they can come talk to me about it. Because you need to take a load off your feet for a second because you're a really good working server. You have a great personality and you deserve a break. And we're just going to chat for 3 minutes. Like, I've done shit like that. Like, so I'm just like blown away by the craziness of like this whole thing where I was just like, okay, like, am I invisible? Weird. So, anyways, that's a whole diatribe. Like, and the only reason I bring it up is because David was talking about like being in a space and it not being great, but the food is good. And in my head, I was like, yeah, this isn't a bad space. It's not necessarily a bad business, but boy, what a weird experience to just be like I said, I guess none of them need the money or care that much, or it's so busy, not important.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't know better, there's a part of me that wondered, like, because I usurped the normal processes, did not stop and talk to a staff person from the moment I arrived, because I didn't say to it like a hostess, like, hey, where's the retirement party? Or blah, 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 blah. I was like, it was super obvious to me. I'm going to recognize the faces of the people I'm with. And sure enough, there were some decorations. Like I didn't need to really engage the staff on that. But then the moment I was within that group, I never got approached. Which is even weirder than when they like people within the group ordered appetizers and then they kind of got a little persistent. Alcohol might have played a portion where they were like, you should share some of the food. I'm like, no, I'm good. Because at that point I was like, I don't want to be accused of being a freeloader in a space where they haven't asked for my dollar. So anyways, but that was Friday. That was technically the last. Nope, that was the first. Sorry, that should have been.
That was me.
Next one. Anyways, do you know what today is?
May 3rd.
Correct. Do you know what happened 90 days ago?
I'm assuming
you
giving your
what?
yeah.
Yes.
Giving. We have the foresight because we have what's on your on the sheet.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the end of my probation in my new position. Woo! It's officially 90 days today. Tomorrow when I walk in, the position is mine, whether they all like it or not. Not that I had any doubts about it, but in my capacity as being president of the union, I'm well acquainted with the policies about positions and probation and who does what, where, when, and all this kind of jazz. And in this circumstance, I get to go through an awkward 90-day phase where they could just let me go at any moment if they really wanted to. I mean, there's some certain measures we'd have to follow, but now I know, nope, the position's mine, and like there's not a lot to change about it. I didn't have any doubt about that, but it is just a weird thing. And it technically happens to all of us. If you advance in your career or take other positions, even if they're lateral moves, you technically are in a probation when you start the new position. But a lot of times, most employers, the government necessarily, don't really talk about that. Like they don't address the probation part. Like you've been with the company for 7 years. No one thinks of you ascending or taking a new position or whatever as, oh, Damon's on probation. Like, you know what I mean? And as we get older, you're like, that's not a thing that happens.
Yeah.
Because you've been working for so long. Like, even with a new job, like, you might be cognizant of the fact, like, oh, I got to make it through the first 3 months or whatever. But still, like, so.
Usually by probably the 1 month period at the probably very longest, if you got it. Like the other 2 months are just procedure. Because if they don't want you, if they don't want you in the job, they're gonna let you go before that 1 month.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's a week. But
So, yeah, the month of April was me getting through the last third, technically, of my probation. I haven't had a job in quite a long time that I've been this busy. Like, previous 6 years. Well, no, that's not true. 10 months of the very first year of the prior position was a busy one. Global pandemics and all that. So that was a different experience, but it's been quite a while since I'm like, every day I'm like, what am I chipping away at? And the experience has taught me through these couple of months, especially this last month, I can't get it all done. It's just not possible in the hours that I have available to me. And that's not a bad thing, but that also is recalibrating me to understand. Yeah, it's going to take you a year to learn the position. It might very well fucking take you 1 whole year to get a semblance of not only normalcy, but also addressing all the things that I've been finding that need to be addressed and taken care of and adjusted, aka fixed, and problem solved. And like, because what I had to say to a couple people is I've now realized, yeah, this position probably should have been created almost 3 years ago. And it's a lot of backlog. Because I'm like, oh, why are we doing it this way? And this is why I'm like, nope, I'm not the one. I shouldn't be in this position because I asked too many goddamn questions. Like, why do we do it like this? How did we learn to do this? If the system can do it this way, why aren't we doing it that way? Like, if it's meant to be efficient and we're doing it the inefficient way, someone please explain it to me. And the answer is consistently, it's just the way we've done it.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yep.
That's nice.
I've been in the year plus that I've been kind of in this. It's not a new position because I've not been hired into anything, but like transition of me taking over a role. It's been very hard to be like, we did it because that's what we did. Like, that's what we've always done it. And I have people above me being like, well, maybe we shouldn't. It's becoming like, there's the potential of like, kind of like, this is causing more work. There's a lot of weird workarounds, or why are we doing it this way, or why are we not asking these questions? And it's hard when you've been doing it for so long a certain way, and now you're having to look at it through different eyes, even though the eyes are your own.
Right, and that's also part of been my experience, because there are 3 clinics that I'm helping coordinate, and the one I'm starting with is the one I know. And I don't know it 100%. So I've been learning things as I go along, and then I'm like starting to ask questions about, well, why are we having this is one of the wild ones. Why are we having people have to fill out a form? Well, because we're preparing to use it if we need it. Okay. How about we just fill it out when we need it? Because its relevancy is lost if it's not relevant now. If it's not needed today when they're here, then it doesn't mean anything in a week. Right? So, because we're just going to have them fill it out again and sign and date it then, not now, right? like I had to kind of get that rudimentary with it and get consensus, and they're like, yeah, that makes sense. Great.
Funny how that happens.
Can we please stop using the form right now? Like, can we stop making it part of an automated process that doesn't make any sense because no one, like, it's never going anywhere, no one's seeing it, and it doesn't technically hold any power or do anything effective?
What if you don't need the form?
We do, but in very specific circumstances. But what I found out is pre-pandemic, it was just a thing. It was one of several things you did upon arrival, and I was like, why?
Oh,
Especially half
Because-
going out of form.
Well,
Okay.
1% or less of the time it's needed.
Mm,
Which is where my perspective was, then let's do it when it's actually needed. Right, Jeff? You should only do the LERF when you actually need to do the LERF, not every.
No, you shouldn't have to do the LERF. Leave the LERF out of this. The LERF,
So for all of
LERF
you that are
is
patrons, you don't understand the reference.
the LERF is
become a patron over on our Patreon.
the LERF is not needed. This is unnecessary red tape.
Yeah.
You got other ways of verifying when somebody returns to work. Anyways.
No, so for me, my probation ended, and it's not on the list, but man, this weather's been whack.
I mean, also that.
Oh, you're also
I
talking to
think-
two people who live in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
No, but like we're all kind of
Yeah.
in the same region of the U.S. right now, so our weather is relatively the same. So we had frost warnings. What was it? Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning. Like my furnace kicked on and off like a half dozen times, and then today it was back up to almost 60 again, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
So
have the heat on.
I am literally right. I am literally in my office. I'm surprised my furnace isn't kicked on. Well, that's right. It warmed up. Anyways, I'm wearing sweatpants and a hoodie and a hat because I've been this way for probably all my life. If I get cold, I fucking don't warm up easily. So I get pretty bitchy about getting cold because I don't end being cold. I stay cold for a while. So I'm a little bent out of shape about the goddamn weather because I would just like, I would like it now that it's May to
It's gonna be May.
level out.
Yeah,
Every
I think Jeff and I have been dealing with similar-ish situation. It was warm like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly it's like, oh, hey, it's going to rain and it's going to be cold. And it's going to stay cold until tomorrow. Because literally tomorrow, it's going to get up to the 70s. I had to turn my heat on. I think I turned it on Thursday or Friday. I can't remember. Because I woke up, came downstairs, and the thermostat said it was like 65. I was like, no, thank you.
74
glad we have a
tomorrow,
page.
68 on Tuesday, 59 on Wednesday, 58, 66, 66, 66. Yeah. We're going to be bouncing between the 50s and 60s, but tomorrow is going to be up in the 70s.
Yep. And I'm sitting here having this like, I won't be here tomorrow, so I need to make a decision before I leave work for today. Am I going to turn the heat off, or am I just going to keep it on? I'm glad I have a new
Just remember, with cold, you can always put stuff on.
fair.
You can only take so much stuff off from heat.
Yeah, I know. Ugh, gross. Anyway, let's move on.
Okay. Where is it? I need to put these in a better place. Anyways, let's go into this. Now, for the quick part of our show, Would like to thank Fish Fluff on Blue Sky for following us on Blue Sky. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, random. Nice meeting you.
It's not Fluff. It's Fish Fluff.
Buff.
Fluff. There's no L. Excuse me. I apologize. Fish Fluff. Meanwhile, over on Patreon,
Reminded.
Yeah.
Anyways, my brain's broken. Anyways, remind me, and I'll try to tell you the post show. Patreon, right? We would like to give some big bear cub hugs to our patrons for their support. At the Cubster level, Charles W. and Michael K. At the Uber level, Dave T, Lee, and Michael Q. And our buddies Lloyd G, Michael V, and Owen R. So thank you.
Yay. Thanks, patrons.
they are.
Yep.
Forgot we had that card. Anyways. And how about those shows?
How about them shows?
In April, not March. April. But
Most-
we did have this show.
yes.
You know, this is the only graphic which has this problem.
Yes. And I could have fixed it if someone had told me when they noticed it sooner than when we were live.
I noticed it when we were live.
Well, that's the thing.
That was partly my bad.
What were our
for not
shows?
noticing it. Anyways, moving on.
So the last time we did this, it was 8/20, which was the what's going on for the month of March. And then in 8/21, we asked the question, the decline of bear culture, question mark? And whether or not that's a thing
Mhm.
or not. And is it unique to us being US?
Hmm.
Because I get the sense that bear culture outside of the US is a very different thing. So,
Mhm.
International
really sure.
bears, fleets less now. What do you think?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then last week, returned to the Let's Talk About Sex series in episode 822 with Dirty Talk.
Dirty talk.
Although Jeff thought we were censored, but that's another matter.
By the way, thanks Jeff for mentioning NSYNC. Literally after the show, I went on like a 5 listening to NSYNC and feeling the vibe. Like watched a whole bunch of like their old videos and just like, yep. I started with pop, obviously, and then just sort of started clicking around. That took.
You're welcome for the
It was
rabbit hole.
good. Yeah, it was good for listening to while I was doing the synopsis for the show. But it wouldn't have been in my head at all. So thank you for that, Jeff.
Look, boy
And
bands
and just
are a true essential thing to our generation.
and
I'm not sure
and
how much
also,
boy bands are around nowadays.
and also it is still in my head.
You're welcome. Anyways,
Nothing but blue skies from now on.
how's that for a transition? Anyways, I call this FCFNFE. Get into it. It is actually someone we haven't mentioned on the show in a while. Rook.
Mhm.
He had a post for Fat Cock Friday. Fat Cock, fat nuts, fat everything. Get into it.
Yeah.
It's still very
Haven't seen
handsome.
him in a while. I haven't. No.
Hmm?
Am I following him? I am. Okay. I don't know why I don't see his stuff as often. Oh wait, never mind. I know why.
Yeah, I actually just ran into him somehow very recently.
I met Rook years ago.
Mm-hmm.
All of us have a 1 degree connection to Rook. Now, Damon knows immediately who that is. Jeff doesn't know, but it's AJ.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Who's like attended some of our like happy hours and social like online meetups and stuff like that. That's how I met him, because we met when I was in DC. I think staying with AJ. I was there during IML.
You mean MIR? Not MIR. Fuck.
The one in January.
MAL. MAL. Mid Atlantic Letter.
Is that what happens in January on Martin Luther King weekend?
Yeah.
Back to the whole abbreviation thing. Here we go.
Yeah. They're like, it's not MIR, which is Mr. International Rubber, since so we're explaining
Another initialism.
abbreviations now.
Yes.
Actually, and it's not Mr. International Rubber anymore. Or oh fuck me, hold on.
We got Damon down another rabbit hole.
Thank you. Yes.
No surprise. Anyways, I met him then. It's interesting to see him to who he's evolved and turned into. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I've known him for so long. I've known a kind of a prior phase of his life, I guess is a different way to phrase that. And who he's like become. And I'm proud of him. Like, he's a big boy, sex positive. So if you're interested in that, you should check him out.
So to circle back, MIR is just what it's called, but it's now International Rubber Weekend as opposed to Mr. International Rubber. They are become more inclusive in their titles, so they have additional title contests. So they have a Ms., a Mix, and MIR International Rubber Ambassador alongside Mr. International Rubber. And there's a whole big article, but I'm not going to read it right now. So that part right there. But again, going back to Jeff's point during our pre-show, they explain why and who they are on their website. Pretty sure they do. Yeah.
About pages are important, people. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, they have a whole about section.
Anyways, Damon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Damon, back. Come on. Sorry.
I'm getting to it. I have Feeling Thick from Harry Irish Bear on Blue Sky. Cute bear flexing in the mirror. His foot is on the countertop of I'm assuming the sink, and he's in nothing but a jock and a backwards baseball cap. And a neck. I'm assuming a chain of some kind. Maybe a collar, possibly. But yeah. And just feeling thick. And I would like to feel that thickness.
Them some thick thighs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He is a common cub who's visiting Alan Bobby.
Mm.
He is 6'5".
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Big boy.
Yeah.
Yep. Gary? You've got two.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you've got pay attention.
Gary, come on back.
I don't have sizist fantasies. Anyways,
Has different fantasies.
I'm just saying.
Moving
Does he
on.
have a?
Sort of 5 foot. That, anyways.
Does he have a?
Hmm?
Gary, is it a full like foot on you?
More than.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
He's got
I can
plus
understand.
inches on me.
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
does.
say it'd be. I said on me. Anyways, that ain't gonna happen.
Anyway,
I'd have to take 2 gummies. Then I'd probably be passed out. Anyways.
Moving on.
Just like gone off the rails.
Gary.
So yes, my first one is actually not perverted. Someone else I know on Blue Sky. This is why I like Blue Sky, because you can on a normal feed, regular feed, whatever you're gonna call it, you can see what other people like or share.
Mhm.
You can manipulate it. Like, you don't have to be the way. You can see only posts, like just things that people post, not share or whatever. So this is, I called it what did I call it? Rain Puddle NOLA. It's actually, the caption is Rain Puddle with Tattoo Parlor, comma, Frenchman Street, comma, New Orleans. So Nolans, NOLA, New Orleans is one of my all-time favorite cities in
Mm.
existence. I will admit I have not traveled the whole Blue Marble. That being said, this is the one city in my lifetime that every time I have visited, it's electric. Like, it
Mm.
does something to me in that it has an energy and a vibe and a thing. And so this photographic artist, who goes by Mark, I think it's Marco Rossi, MARCORASI, has this whole, they must live in New Orleans. They have this whole series of photographs, and they've honed in on a specific style of exposure, lighting, and circumstance, and they really kind of enhance and blow out certain kind of lighting and do some depthist stuff. It's absolutely fucking gorgeous. Anyways, I'm following them now, but I love seeing this. I want to see more of it because it just is the whole draw and lure of me wanting to go back to New Orleans. If you've never been, I really highly recommend that you go. I feel like New Orleans falls into 2 camps. For the most part, either you're kind of like me and you really love the city, or it doesn't impress you and you could care less about going back. And I get it. Like, not everything is everybody's cup of tea. So, but it's a huge melting pot. It's one of the kind of the oldest cities in the U.S. Yes, it has a high amount of like French like influence, but it also is a southern state. It has a lot of like African influence, because of it being a port and like trade, and it has a huge amount of culture, an amazing art scene that is very vast and interesting. So that's my non triple X thing. If you're interested in checking that out, there's some stuff.
I really like
Very nice.
this reflection in the puddle. It's just
Mhm.
it's almost like an exact mirror.
Yeah.
It's so,
Well, that's what I love about some of these photos. Like, and if you know Urban Street and this portion of New Orleans, there's some really great photos in the series, and I'm kind of hoping at some point, I started following them, and I'm kind of hoping that they catch us. There's 2 gay bars in the French Quarter in New Orleans specifically that I kind of have a fondness for, that I'm hoping they will end up eventually having in a picture of some kind.
Mm.
Lafitte's is the big classic one on Bourbon Street, and then just a couple blocks away is the Cell Block. At least I think it's called the Cell Block, which is the leather bar. In fact, there is a photo that I think is the Cell Block, but my issue was is that it's like from the winter or from Christmas, and it has a skeleton with a Santa hat on the outside of it, I think, and I was like, well, that's kind of dated. Like, that's not quite what I was hoping for. So, anyways, I'm hopeful that they'll. But I love their light exposure and like New Orleans is just a beautiful city. It's the French Quarter specifically is very walkable. It's eclectic. There's pictures of like there's one or two of like a wedding procession. Like it's a big thing about New Orleans culture. Like not only like do you have during the day like you have the bands that go down the street, but like funeral processions, wedding processions. Like you can do these things in the city. And obviously they have an amazing food scene and lots of stuff, but it's pretty amazing. So, anyways, it just made me really realize how much I miss it, and I need to go back, get my fix. Anyways, speaking of fixes, my other pick, once it loads. So, God bless the internet. That's all I have to say. Thank you to the like IT people of the past that allow us to have this today. And I don't just mean all the porn 24/7 that you can consume. There's also content like this that like I keep saying this over and over again. I realize I'm a broken record, but if I had seen this stuff when I was younger, it would have changed my scope and mindset about like myself. So it's by @CupidCub. And it says, fun little flow at the open aerial play. We hosted a queer festival this weekend. And it's a short video of a big boy in a jockstrap that I'm pretty sure is cow print.
Yeah.
Because he's wearing horns. And he's got knee-high socks on. And he is doing an amazing job of an aerial routine. And I think I call it a leer or lyre. If you've ever seen like Dita Von Teese or the Drag Race realm, Violet Chachki, they do aerial work. It's like a gymnastic thing, but they're using this hoop basically, and they're suspended off the ground. And he's not very far off the ground. He's like 4 feet maybe, but he's spinning 360 and doing this whole thing. And it's just really amazing to see a person of size do this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
and to show that, like, no, you don't have to be a 4'8", little jockey body gymnast. You know what I mean? Like aerialist. You can be a big person and do this stuff.
You just need to make sure that the equipment holds the weight.
Correct. So they describe themselves as a gay bear in Orange County, California, kinky and poly. I love nature, aerial arts, paddleboarding, TV, film, befriending cats, making music, and cuddling. And I just thought this was an awesome video that I saw a couple weeks ago this month that I was just like, wow. And it's sort of mesmerizing like to just watch him spin around and do this thing. Like there's a part of me that's like, if I lived in an area and this was a thing, I would be interested to learn to see if I could do it. And by that I mean like I think I can do it. I don't know how good I'd be at it, but
Yeah. Similar feeling. Like I know I would be. The main fear would be just falling down. Like, but one of the things I did see last month, I saw a show called from the Broadway touring season called Water for Elephants, and it's based on a movie. And the idea, which is based on a book, and the idea behind it is that it's a circus. It's related, it goes back to a circus. So they had in the musical, they had a lot of acrobatic performances, and there are a lot of fun moments and depth. The awe-inspiring, all like striking moments in the show. And some of them were like these trapeze artists that were doing things like this. Not like down close to the ground, but like higher up. And it's a stage and it's theater, so you're like kind of like, oh wow, that's a lot. There could be a potential issue. So a lot of fun. Good show. There's that. Jeff?
I have nothing more.
No, I thought
Moving
I
on
was
to
trying
the
to catch
links.
I thought you were kind of what Gary was saying. You were kind of like captivated.
I'm scrolling through Cupid Cub Seed. I do follow them.
Huh?
And,
Huh.
I don't think I've ever just scrolled through his feed before. Anyways, moving into links. Gary.
Yeah, so this will be a weird one for me. I'll explain why it's weird in a moment. Daredevil Born Again Season 3 is ending this week. I say with a question in my voice. I'm pretty sure the final episode is this week. Now, the reason why I'm not sure about that is this is where it gets weird. So this is a Disney Plus exclusive series.
Mm-hmm.
And I dropped Disney Plus last year after having been a multi-year subscriber. Because if you remember, there was this whole controversy about Jimmy Kimmel that ABC decided to take him off the air and all this bullshit. And Disney owns ABC. And so I was like, fuck your shit. I ain't got time for this. So I canceled my subscription and I've never renewed it. That doesn't mean I don't like good content, but it is very difficult to be supportive of a corporation that you are taking a stand against because they do bullshit like that. So I still am aware of things that are happening. And thank God for, I don't want to put them on blast, a certain podcast that does a review show or a recap show and basically gives you, or at least I feel gives me 75% of what is happening. And there's visuals to it. So I feel like I'm still watching it, but I'm still giving a middle finger to Disney because I'm not giving them a fucking dollar for it.
Fair.
So instead I give it to YouTube, which has its own problems. So like, just, pick and choose your battles. But anyways, this season harkens back and gets back to its roots from the Netflix era. So if you watched it then and you liked the first season and then thought the second season was weird, because it was, and then they fixed it finally in the third season, it's been good content. Yeah. And I don't want to get into any details to get into spoiler stuff, but so it's very intriguing because there's only one episode left and apparently some big shit's going to happen. And there's all these like questions about the implications in the bigger, broader universe because, Doomsday comes out at the end of this year and there's a whole lead up to that. And, what's going to happen with all the timelines and the characters and the different things. Anyways, so if you're into that, feel free to check it out. And if you've already paid ahead and given them the money, enjoy.
There you are. And with that, that's the end. Plenty of ways to contact us. Let us know what abbreviations drive you insane. Want more of that conversation? Become a patron at patreon.com/cubsoutloud. I know I'm skipping ahead, but hey, that seems appropriate. But you can also contact us through our website, cubsoutloud.com. Shoot us an email at cubsoutloud@gmail.com. Leave us a voicemail at 361-COL-TALK. That's 361-265-8255. You can follow us on Blue Sky, Facebook, Tumblr, and YouTube at Cubs Out Loud, the appropriate place of the URL. You can also join our Entourage chat over on Telegram at bit.ly/telegram-COL. Here's a question for those who are international listeners. How's the bear community in other places of the world besides the U.S.? Because we're kind of in a little bit of bubble, and we've got other things that we're kind of worried about in the States right now. But how are you guys? You guys must be doing better. In any case, You can also find out when we're planning on recording these shows once we know over on our Google Calendar at bit.ly/calendar-col. Find some merch such as our sticky here's your cookie shirt. This is what whatever the Cubs say these days, as well as various other people say these days. Or just a regular Cubs Out Loud logo something or other, such as a shirt or a hat or a mug or a handy towel. Or an entire towel set or an apron, or there's a whole bunch of stuff over there. If you don't see it, please let us know so I can make sure it's actually up there, because sometimes they take it down because people aren't buying it. So they're thinking, oh, this is a bad thing. We want to make money, so let's take this off so that other things get highlighted. No, I want them all up so you have it available. Have different mindsets. Anyways, beside the point. That's Zazzle.com/Cubs Out Loud. Some of those designs were designed by Smashy. You can find more of his work at tpublic.com/user/Smashy the Bear. You can also support us by becoming a patron, patreon.com/Cubs Out Loud, which I kind of already said. Or send us a one-time donation at paypal.me/Cubs Out Loud. You can find us on the various podcasting platforms, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify. You can find me anywhere on the internet as Bucks Cub, actually. Anything else is relatively irrelevant nowadays. But I do have a story, my match story over on AO3, Archive of Our Own, that is. You can find that at bit.ly/matchstoryAO3. Demon.
If you wish to get in touch with me, you can find me at TheaterCub79. That's TheaterCub79 and most of the related sites. Find me as Pup_Umbra79 on Blue Sky. That Blue Sky is not safe for work. For the safe for work stuff, you want DMA Gamer79 on Blue Sky and TikTok. Getty.
If you would like to get in touch with me, you can pretty much find me anywhere online as GearBear73.
And with that, say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good one, y'all.
Bye.